Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
Yeah. Listen, success is whatever you make it. If you want to be happy, you want to provide for your family.
Live.
You got to put that work in, man. You got to go get
Learn.
it. See, listen, this is what I tell them.
Serve.
I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals.
Inspire.
I go out and I go get it. How to go,
You're in the
that's
right
all I know. I
place.
don't
You're
succeed
checking
if I
out
don't breathe.
Chip
Success,
Baker,
what does it
the
mean?
Success
If I
Chronicle.
conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with another episode of the Success Chronicles. And today we have Michael Lane with us. He's coming to us from Sydney, Australia. Great guy, involved in lots of great things that's making a difference, success resources, and just doing some big time things. And so I'm so thankful to have him on this episode of the Success Chronicles. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Chip. Pleasure to be here.
All right. Well, let's dive right in. Let's talk about your life story, if you don't mind. Share your life story and kind of track it until now.
Yeah, wow. It's been a long and interesting life. I'm 39 years old now. I've been around this game, which is the personal development and personal growth game, for 16 years. But prior to that, I've grown up in Sydney, Australia. Normal upbringing, loving parents, very middle class. Nothing too exciting, nothing to go, wow, Jimmy. Just a normal upbringing. I was probably the only one in my family. I've got two other siblings who maybe was a little bit entrepreneurial. Still to this day, most of them, although would love to better themselves and those kind of things, are probably not chasing success or chasing the best version of who they would like to be. So maybe a little bit unique. And if there's people out there who can relate to that, some of us are just built differently. And for me, I believe you're born different. I don't believe you wake up one day and go, damn, I'm going to be an entrepreneur today from this day forward. I just don't believe that's how we're built. So look, from the age of 7 or 8, I started having these thoughts and started thinking differently about where I saw myself. It didn't mean this is who I want to become or it was more like, I just know I want to be in control and I wanted to achieve success. I wanted to have nice things. So with that, consciously, I can remember from about 7 or 8 on. From that point on, it stuck with me for my whole life. Even, when I was 12, 13 and my friends are getting comic books and going stuff like that, I'd be buying International Boat Mag and Rob Report and wanting to read about Forbes and really think about, who are the billionaires and those kind of things. So look, I was built a little bit differently. To people listening to this, it's probably exactly what they're resonating with and how they grew up. I went to a boarding school here in Sydney. I don't know if boarding schools are very popular in North America, but especially in Europe and Australia, it was quite common. So I went to a boarding school where a lot of my friends had very wealthy parents. My parents, again, very middle class, really struggled to get us to go to a really good school, and forever grateful for that. But some of the biggest lessons I took out of that was not really the education that I learned. It was more the experiences, the connections, and the people I met. So, I remember going on holidays with friends, and you would go in their dad's private jet. You would stay at their holiday homes here and there, and you think, damn, this is not how I grew up, but I loved it. So that really got the creative juices going. And again, when I think back to some of my friends whose parents had that kind of money, not all of them are built like this either. They were like, oh, that's normal, that's life. And some of them now are doing things that probably aren't at the same path of or the same success as their parents. So, that stuff just fueled the fire. Again, I'd be in my dorm room thinking about, damn, when I leave school, I want to go make money. Again, I didn't know what that looked like. I didn't know, there was no clear path. And then, look, I tried a couple of businesses when I got out of school. I just knew that going and getting a job, and I had plenty of jobs. So I had plenty of jobs, even in the holidays at school. When my friends didn't need to go work, I'd be working at, in the canteens or at the fast food outlets. I'd be doing everything I can to try and make some money.
Mm-hmm.
But when I left school, it was like, I need to go figure out how to do this myself. So fast forward, I started a couple of businesses, didn't really get anywhere, but again, reaffirmed to me that I like being in control of my time and like being in control of how much I could make. So Chip, I then got dragged kicking and screaming to a seminar when I was 23. And that's when my life really changed. I saw somebody on stage who was thinking about the things that I thought about, and maybe had a lot of certainty in my eyes on, they had a plan on how you can achieve success. They had connected the dots, and they had figured out there is a shortcut to success if you want to follow some steps and principles. So that massively intrigued me, because I thought I only thought differently. I just thought, because back in the day, Chip, it's like, you don't tell your friends, like, dude, I want to be successful. I've got goals and things I want to achieve. It's like, today you can talk about that. Back in the day, it was like, you want to keep that stuff to yourself.
Yeah, you're a weirdo.
You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
I know.
So look, fast forward, I came into this business as a commission-only salesperson, and that was 16 years ago, and it's been a real crazy ride. That's
cool. That's good stuff. You said a couple of things that I truly agree with. I think, I'm thinking from a teacher coach perspective, when you see those kids that have that look, like, you can see it, oh yeah. Yeah. Well, let's, what are 3 things you've accomplished in your life that you're proud of?
Great question. And I'm fortunate there's been a few things. I think the first and foremost is the marriage to my wife. Mm-hmm. And that's many different layers. Do you mean I'm fortunate to be married now with 2 kids, but 10 years ago, I met my wife, my now wife. And as an entrepreneur, I think that's really important to have a real strong, confident woman behind you who supports you. Wow. Not only that, as men, women can distract a lot of your time and attention. And I can look at some of my friends right now who maybe are on their path to success, and, they might be single, or they might have come out of relationships, and they're still chasing and finding the one. And that takes time, energy, and effort. And I believe it distracts your creative thinking. So really fortunate, number one, to have an amazing wife who supports me. We're on this journey together. She is my co-CEO in everything we do. That's number one. Second one is my kids. Anyone who's got kids, you immediately understand that your why just got amplified and just got so much bigger. And it was only when my kids came along that I truly disconnected from the ego stuff that I want to truly create for myself. Even when I was married, and my wife would probably hate to see this, but it's like, it was still about me. It was still like, I've got to achieve this and all this. But damn, when my first son came along 7 years ago, it was like, okay, I get it. Yeah. There's another phase. There's another level to this. And damn, I'm now out of the picture. It's about other people. It's about family. It's about bigger things. So that was a huge lesson for me. And the third thing, which I don't see any of these necessarily as in a hierarchy of more important, but I'm really grateful for my mindset. And that might sound strange, but over 16 years working consciously, diligently, daily on myself, I've had some huge setbacks. I've had some financial catastrophes, and I've had a few wins along the way. But I believe I've trained my mindset to not get too elated in the highs and the wins, and not get too depressed in the lows. And for me, that's just, don't get me wrong, I get out of this and we're human, but I kind of feel like I cruise along and stay very neutral, and there's not these kind of things anymore. It's kind of like I don't get too far off center and where I need to be. So I put that down to my personal growth, my, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of investment in myself, the countless, there's decades of work on myself. So, mate, they're probably the three things that I am most grateful for, that the lessons and the things that I've come across over the last 20 years in business.
Okay. So marriage, kids, and mindset. I can so associate with the even kill mindset, because I think I'm the same way. I think it's important, just to hear you say that, because like that's something that I've thought, some thoughts that I've thought about too, and I try to relate that to others. You don't want to get, like you said, too far high. Enjoy, yes, enjoy.
Yeah.
But then you don't want to be too far low. Yes, be aware. And react accordingly in a positive way, but don't let things just totally get you down, because it could be worse. It could be better. It could be better, but it could be way worse.
Yes, I totally agree.
You just keep moving, keep doing your thing, and things are going to work out for sure. Well,
agree.
Let's talk success. What is your definition of success?
Look, it's so funny. I've been doing a lot of interviews, a lot of podcasts at the moment. I get this question a lot. And I think success evolves individually for people. And I really don't think you can label it one thing. If you'd asked me this 10 years ago, before kids, before marriage, still in my ego, cocky, young, entrepreneurial self, success would have been driving a nice car, having a nice place. Chip, I actually remember being so down in the dumps at a point where I was like, success is like a couple of grand a month. Do you know what I mean? That was like, if I can just get back up to par and get a couple of grand a month, damn, that would be amazing. So for me, success evolves. I mean, I even remember looking at people who I idolized to go, and this is going to sound so strange, but success in a little format was, if I don't have to get on the train or the bus and commute to the office and then commute back, if I could drive my car out of my garage, drive underneath the building, park there, and then drive home, that was a level of success for me. Yeah. So there's all different layers, and I really think it's hard to measure and say there's one answer. Mm-hmm. But today, in this moment for me, having come through some levels of success, for me, it's really having a state of happiness every single day. Happiness can be whatever you want it to be. It can be a financial sum. It can be a health orientated. Happiness for me is getting up, looking at my kids, looking at my family, being grateful for what I have right now, being grateful to come into a business every single day and love what I do. That's happiness for me. And yeah, just whatever happiness looks like for you, and whatever that represents, that's success for me. Yeah. Now, in saying that, Chip, I think there's more levels of success I need to achieve. Right. There's so much more. Like, I had a podcast interview the other day, and for me, one of the goals that I've set myself, and I think sometimes we only think about it when we get further down our path, is legacy. What do we want to be here for? What do we want to be known for? And look, I've been around some really good thought leaders for a long period of time, and thankfully some of it's rubbed off. But my next phase that I'm consciously working on, Chip, is what's my legacy? What do I want to be known for? And that stuff is usually successes that happen outside of you. You know what I mean? It's not about me anymore. It's not about, I want to achieve this, I want to have this. It's like, what difference can I make? How many people can I influence? How many people can I lead? How many leaders can I grow to go on and lead others to change the world? So again, to answer your question, it's more for me, happiness in this moment, but I've got this thing that I need to keep moving forward and keep pushing my goals to be external as opposed to shit that I want to achieve or have or acquire. So, Chip, I don't know if I've answered it. I've definitely not answered it directly, but hopefully you get a feeling of what it is for me and my evolution of it.
I love that. I'm gonna hit you with this one. There's a lot of different things that you said. Well, the whole interview, there's a lot of different things that's been thought provoking for me. But in this part, you talked about having a state of happiness every single day, being a success, and then you talked into your legacy and leaving a legacy. To me, I think it's simple. I think when we can break things down, just like you said, okay, this level, if I can be able to drive a car to work, okay, if I can be able to do this, I think in our lives, when we simplify things or chunk things, if you will, like that, it allows us to be more efficient. And so for me, I do that in my life because it's the same thoughts. Like, as you said, I'm like, yes, a legacy. But to me, I look at it as, I think we must focus on the steps every day to live a legacy so that we leave a legacy.
I love that. That's
and so,
great.
When, I think, yes, we want to leave a legacy, but more so than that, we want to take the steps that we live a legacy every day.
I'm writing that down. I love that.
and when we do that, I think our focus is in the right place. I think it allows us to maximize our potential. I think it keeps us ever growing because, like you said earlier, with the why, it helps you focus on your why. Those kids need to, I can tell those kids, yes, do this. Yes, you have to do this. It's important to do this. But if they see dad like, oh, that's how I'm supposed to do it. If they see that, if I'm living that, I don't even really have to say that to you because you see it.
Yeah.
So
it's so much more powerful when you act it and you don't need to say it. Soon as it comes out of your mouth, it's kind of like one thing. But if you live it, and there's a great saying that I wish I'd come up with, but I haven't, is your kids are a reflection of your values.
Yes.
And that's something that I consciously try and think about and every day is how, and it's easy to say it, but it's better to be it. And that's a really good reflection. And I like that.
I think too, when you said about your kids are a reflection of your values, I think, you talked about some of your friends still searching, I think when you can find the one and have kids, it kind of helps you be focused too.
Yeah.
As opposed 100%. To just being, oh, well, no, I got people I have to take care of. I can't be doing all of that. Yeah, no, I'm okay. Y'all can have at it. I'm good. Thank you.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. Well, if you don't mind, can you share with the audience where they can go, follow you and check you out and show you some support and check out what you do?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you. Look, our company is called Success Resources. We just celebrated our 25th year in business. We do 500 entrepreneurial, educational, inspirational events a year in about 30 to 40 countries. We have about 400,000 people come through our doors live at our events every year. Successresources.com is our website, our main website. Don't know really where everyone's listening to, but it's fair to say we've probably got an event happening in your neck of the woods this month, this quarter, this year somewhere. So yeah, we're fortunate enough to have a relationship with Tony Robbins, Robert Kiyosaki, Gary Vaynerchuk, countless others who, educate and inspire people around the world. So, I love meeting people at our events. I love when people come up to me and go, hey, I heard you on that podcast, or I heard you on there. So if by all means, if you see me, or if you come to an event, I'd love to know your feedback. I'd love to know what it did for you. It's one of the cool parts of my job is, I think there's no better job for me personally is to wake up one day, come up with an idea to put an event on or educate or inspire the world somehow, but then to see it 6, 9, 12 months later physically manifest with people who have parted with their hard-earned dollars, that's still hugely humbling to me. So I'm so grateful for clients who come along, who trust us, who believe that, the people we put on stage can inspire and change their life. So I believe I'm living the dream every day.
That's it. Well, good stuff. Well, again, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you, Chip. I appreciate you. I appreciate what you're doing. I believe that as leaders, we need to keep educating, inspiring others, and you're doing that. I'm grateful to be a part of it.
All righty. Well, thank you guys for checking out this episode. We'll see you next time. God bless.
Go get it.